What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now this is a little bit weird because I am recording this in between recording another video. If you can't tell, the motor is now not on the stand. The engine hoist is over there, so it's ready to go back in, except I have to put on my clutch and stuff. I was just gonna do this all in one video, but I kind of figured that there is gonna be a lot of people who want to know how to do a clutch on an SR specifically, or just do a clutch job in general, that it was enough for a separate video, so I'm just gonna make it a separate video. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So I'm gonna be installing a spec stage 2.5 6-puck sprung clutch with pressure plate and my freshly machined flywheel. To start, the first thing we have to do is take out the pilot bearing out of the actual motor itself. So I went to Canadian Tire and I picked up a pilot bearing puller and a slide hammer. To be honest, I already tried filming this. I tried to use the bread trick, which is you stuff a bunch of bread inside of where the pilot bearing sits, and then you hammer a bolt in, and it's supposed to press it out. It didn't work. I spent like 4 hours doing this yesterday. So I went to Canadian Tire and picked up one of these. Unfortunately, I ended up breaking it, so I had to go to Canadian Tire again today and pick up another one. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get this one to work. I'm just renting this one. I had to buy the other one because I broke it obviously, but all you need is this and a slide hammer. You can probably rent it from any local chain. I know if you're in the States that you can rent them from O'Reilly's, but up here we have Canadian Tire, so I just rented it from there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in and pull the pilot bearing out. Okay, so to put this in, all you have to do is slide this guy right in. You wanna push it back and then you rotate this so that you can't pull it out, if that makes sense, because you want it to obviously pull the bearing out. Then we're gonna grab this big boy that you can't really see. We're gonna grab this guy, and it's called the slide hammer. So you just screw that into the back of this. Make sure that's nice and tight. And now all you have to do is take this big slider and you slide it back. Hopefully it works. And you can already see that it's pulling the bearing out just like that. It's butter. It's good. Easy peasy. So you just keep doing this until it pops out. Just like that. So just like that, we got our nice crusty pilot bearing out. You can see it's all chipped and stuff around here. So now we're gonna go ahead and put the other one back in. So yeah, this is the old one. You can see it's all chipped and stuff around here. But yeah, so I have to fix my mistake yesterday and pull some of this bread out of the pilot bearing shaft, I guess you could call it. So I'm just gonna use this. You can literally see, like, I tried to use that yesterday, it didn't work. Don't believe everything you read on the internet, kids. Just kidding. I actually watched a video and a guy did it, no problem. Okay, so now we're gonna put the nice new pilot bearing in. This comes with the clutch kit when you buy it. So we're just gonna put that like that, and then we're gonna take a rubber mallet and just give it a couple little taps as far in as you can. Try and keep it even. So now on the SR, I'm gonna use a 14mm socket. I'm gonna put it like this so that we're going in evenly, instead of using like a screwdriver, and you also risk ruining it because it's just a brass fitting. Watch your knees. Oh. Sorry. Ow, my fingers. Maybe I should grab a long one. Yeah, I changed to a long 14mm because my fingers were getting in the way. And I would say that is a nice installed pilot bearing. So now we can go ahead and put the flywheel on. So I'm gonna go grab that now. Okay, so this is my nice flywheel that I got machined. It is the same one. It's not a Lighten flywheel or anything like that because streetcar. So I'm just gonna go ahead, there's some fingerprints and stuff. I'm just gonna clean it up with some brake clean and then we'll install her. It's really important that every time you do a clutch job, you want to make sure that you are getting a new flywheel or getting the flywheel at least machined, because you don't want any hot spots and grooves and stuff like that, which can be caused from clutch wear. Like, you should have seen this when it first came out. There's a hot spot here, hot spot there. It was not a good time. Okay, so I have ARP Racing flywheel bolts. Super important that you replace these every single time. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some 243. It doesn't say what kind. It's just it says on the actual ARP install guide that you're supposed to use 242. So I'm using 243 thread locker. So I'm just gonna throw that on all of these. And then it says to use ARP install lubricant or something like that. So this is blue thread locker, just in case you're wondering by color. So I'm just gonna throw some on all the threads. Okay, so I got all the thread locker on those. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of this. So it says lubricate the thread of the bolts with Loctite and under the head of the bolt. So on the head right under here in this little area right here, you want to throw some of the ARP fastening lube. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So I threw the lube on, got my fingers dirty, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that for all of them. And then we'll install her. So we're all lubed up, ready to go, ready to insert. I think I'm funnier than I am. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the flywheel on now. Hopefully without an issue. Oh yeah, oh my fingers, that hurt. Oh, this is going phenomenally. Okay, now things should be easier now that we got the first one in. As long as they all line up. Now you're gonna wanna grab a torque wrench. This is super important to make sure that you're torquing these down properly. I am just gonna hand tighten them first. But you definitely want to make sure you're torquing them to the right spec, or else you're gonna have a bad time. Okay, so they are all hand tight now. So what we're gonna do, oh, also you're gonna need a 16 mil 12 point socket. That's super important. It has to be a 12 point. Okay, so another thing that you want to do, obviously if you try and torque these down without it being held, you're just gonna end up spinning the crank. So I'm just gonna grab this nice super big wrench. I'm gonna throw one of my bell housing bolts in. And then on the actual flywheel itself, it has these, what are these called? So then on the flywheel, it obviously has these so that you can just put this here. That's for actually aligning the clutch, but it works for this as well. On the APR instructions, it says to set it to 70 foot-pounds, so I did that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start torquing. And I'm not gonna torque all the way down, but you wanna do it in a star pattern, as you pretty much do everything in the star pattern. Okay, I went ahead and did the star pattern, and now I'm gonna torque everything down to 70 foot-pounds like it said. So starting here. Okay, there's one at 70, there's two at 70, 3 at 70, 4 at 70, 5 at 70, 6 at 70, 7, and yeah, that is number 8. So we're just gonna go ahead and double check. All tightened down to 70 now. We're gonna go ahead and install the pressure plate and the clutch. For whatever reason, they make colored pressure plates, even though you'll never see it once it's installed in the car. But you know what? It's a nice blue. I enjoy this blue a lot. It is a spec clutch, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so the next step is to obviously install the clutch. Okay, so since we have another surface here, before we put it on, I'm just gonna clean it up with some brake clean again. So now the pressure plate's on, we're gonna go ahead and install the clutch bolts. I couldn't imagine having to do this like under a car. This would suck. I've never actually had to do a clutch under a car. Okay, so clutch bolts get torqued at 25. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Hopefully. Okay, so just like that. That is it. Now we're gonna go down to this one. Same thing. That's it. Just like that. Now come back up to this one. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and make sure that they are all torqued and tight. So I'm just gonna double check all of them, make sure they click nicely. Click. 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 See, this one's a little loose now. Click. 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 Okay, there we go. our spec clutch is now installed. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is replace this guy, which is the journal bearing, input shaft bearing, something bearing. I don't know what kind of bearing. It's a bearing. We're gonna replace this with the one from spec. How do I do this? I don't know. So I'm gonna watch a video on it. You know why? Yep. How the hell do I even get that off? Oh, just like that. Okay, I know I need to do that. And then this like pops off of here somehow. I think I just put it on like that and hammer it down or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna watch a video. So if I just keep doing this, apparently it'll pop out. Nope. Okay. So I got this all set up. The bearing is standing on 3. Let's bring you a little lower actually. Bring closer to the action, you know. Okay, so you can kind of see it. I got 3 big sockets. I got a socket in the middle. I'm just gonna give her some. That was good. That worked well. Worked about as well as I thought it would. Alright, don't you fall off again. Something broke. Uh-oh. We're just gonna keep going. Because I have an extra one of these, luckily. It's out, but we broke it. Oh no. Houston, we have a problem. So when I was taking the bearing off, I obviously broke the clutch release sleeve. It's been like 3 hours now. Because I had to go and buy a new one because my extra transmission didn't have one. So I just bought it off a friend. Luckily he had one. And now we're gonna try and install it without breaking anything else. So wish me luck. Ooh, baby. That's nice. Okay. So I got the clutch sleeve in with a little bit of force and it didn't break, so that's good. So we're gonna go ahead and reinstall it. We're gonna slide this guy on here. Okay, so quickly I'm just gonna lube up the release fork thingamajigger. Get it nice and greasy. Because this is gonna make contact with like the slave cylinder and stuff like that. So you want it to not make squeaky noises. Okay, so now we're gonna slide this over there. No, come on. Line up with the hole. There we go. And push that back up. We're installed. Just like that. Okay, transmission's ready to go on. Okay, so that is everything done. So we have the pilot bearing installed in the motor. We have the journal bearing, I think it's called. Input shaft bearing, one of the two. Installed with the clutch fork and everything like that. So we're good to go on that front. So this is gonna end it here. I'm gonna continue putting the motor in, which is gonna be the video either before or after this. So yeah, as I always say, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.